Tout letters in a estate agency. Today I'm joined by Sam Ashdown and Phil Jones, who are very well known in the industry, helping estate agents grow their businesses. Phil, Sam, tout letters, should we be using them? Talk to me.
Yes.
Yes.
But we can finish the video there, can't we? Okay. And why do you think a lot of estate agents don't like to use them?
They don't like touting. I think even the name touting is giving it a bit of a bad image. But I think it's a method of sales persuasion that you would do if you were invited into their home. You know, if you were going to be there in a valuation visit, everything you would say in that valuation visit to acknowledge the fact it's not working for them at the moment with that other agent, and to talk about the benefits and consequences coming on the market with you, you're just going to say the same in a letter.
I think agents do like to use them.
Not many do, though, do they?
Yeah, no, I think what happens, because we have them in the room all the time, is that they listen to things like this and try them, but because they're not willing to either try them consistently or they're not willing to put everything else in place, they think they don't work, and therefore that's it.
When you say everything else in place, what do you mean by that?
They don't just work on their own, do they, in a silo?
Is it a part of an engine, just like a carburettor needs all the other parts for it to work?
Yes, and we have had clients where they send out letters and they magically get into lots of valuations and it works. That's 1 in 100, if that, 1 in 1,000. And thank goodness, because otherwise it'd be pretty easy, wouldn't it? So there are so many other elements to getting the engine rolling.
Okay, so come on then, let's get some value for the ladies and gentlemen out there. Out there, what do they need to do before?
Well, it's part of a bigger system, like Phil says. We call it flywheel. And if one part's missing, you don't get the same momentum. So we start off with the sales letters and, you know, things like social media, just getting your name out, getting the brand out there. But then if you can't get an instruction, you can't deliver on that promise. You know, if you don't have beautiful bespoke marketing and the houses aren't presented, you know, and then you don't then get into results, which is to sell them, you're not going to get any further than the letter. So each thing feeds into another. So we're asked often, aren't we, how much of our income, how much of our revenue comes from letters? But it's almost impossible to say, because we started using letters on day one, and that's 8 years ago now. So the instructions we're taking on now are a very indirect result of those letters we sent in the first year.
Do you think we're very guilty of doing something on a Monday and wanting the results on a Friday?
Yes, but I also think it's, you know, 2025 to 2030. If you're still doing the same thing with your letters in 2030 as you start today, it's in your 2030s when you get your £10 million house. You're not going to get that in year one because you haven't proven yourself.
It all feeds together. So if you're sending a letter out and the next door neighbour has your sign outside and all of a sudden gets a sold slip, the chance of them applying to that letter is much higher. If they've had 5 of your letters and you go and knock on the door, the chance of them being open to that conversation is a lot higher.
And the same if you've got great social media and you've got beautiful properties on your website, it all feeds the same machine.
So you need to almost complete the picture.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll talk about social media and everything else in other videos. These letters, who are you sending them to? Properties on the market, properties not on the market, withdrawn properties?
Yeah, so we do both. We're in a funny situation now where our market's fairly quiet. So when our market's quiet in terms of number of buyers, we ramp up the on the market stuff. We ramp up the touting letters, as you put it, because the chance of a response is much higher.
Because the housing market in the Lakes is slower, so they're not selling as quickly. So therefore, there's an opportunity to pick them up second time round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we go tout letters higher, client communications higher, and there are two focus when the market's
Client as in your existing
our clients, yes.
So it's retention, keep the retention. But back in COVID times where we didn't have a market, we didn't have any properties on the market. I mean, today I think we've got like 75 listings, something like that, all high value, you know, probably 4/5 of those are over £1 million and some of those are worth over £5 million. But I think we had 6 on the market, didn't we, at our worst possible time during COVID. And we knew that in 6 months' time we were going to run out of money. So Phil came up with this idea, which I thought was a crazy idea, of writing to not on the market addresses. which is crazy, isn't it? That's the long game. You know, you don't do that and expect to get properties on the market. But if you only ever do on the markets, you're restricted by the properties that are on the market. It sounds obvious, but if the highest value is £1 million, you can't list it any higher. So by sending to not on markets, you were attracting valuations of properties that were worth £5-10 million for the first time.
What were you saying in those letters, not on market letters, roughly?
Yeah, so where are we now? 3-4 years on, we still send them quarterly. And
Is that big letter you sent?
yeah, so it can be 7-8 pages. So I actually need to write another one this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the pleasure of reading a couple of them, and they are very impressive, if you don't mind me saying.
I write them as sort of a bit of fun as well. I quite enjoy writing in that style.
And there's a nice flow to them as well. It's very informative. It's almost like a journal. It's not an estate agent gives you ass to sell, mate.
No.
It's very informative.
I hope so. And we get a lot of feedback. My kids go to quite a good school, so all the parents at that school get.
I'm sure it's better than quite a good school.
It's quite a good school. And yeah, we go on the least holidays and got the worst car at this school. But all the parents they're getting them, so we get some really good feedback.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You specialise at Ashdown Jones upper quartile, don't you? So how have you got the list of properties? Are you using council house tax bands and?
Yeah, FG and H. Really simple. If the market is really busy and we feel like there's a big opportunity there, we'll ramp that up and go to some council tax E's and D's. If they've got a house name, if they've got a number, we usually avoid it.
Yeah, I know it's not the same in every area, because in some areas a house number is just as good, but in our area it tends to be a house name. Yeah, makes it unique.
And if you don't mind me saying, that's a lot of envelopes to stuck and a lot of stamps to lick, although they're all self-adhesive nowadays.
Yeah,
we've spent the last 4 or 5 years trying to get as systemised as we possibly can. We think we're probably just about there.
It's fairly smooth.
We've trialled a few things. We've trialled writing envelopes abroad, so having them written abroad and then shipping them to the UK.
And
I like that. Does that work?
Yeah, it works really well.
Are you doing Dear Homeowner or?
No, just the property name. Okay. And because we're writing to them 4 times a year, we can write those in bulk. We can write 4 of the same address and send them back. And just hope they don't ask us not to send them. Which doesn't happen often.
Because then we've got to go and find the other ones, haven't we? Yeah. In the box, yeah.
Okay, so do you get them handwritten abroad now?
Not at the moment, no. We're trialing something super secret at the moment.
Okay.
But everything else, we've written them in-house. We've got our cleaner's brother to write them. We've had teenagers write them.
But it's handwritten. It's up
always
until the top
envelope.
secret stuff that obviously we can't keep that.
Blue pen.
Blue pen?
Blue pen.
Is it that micro?
Yeah, well, blue pen is obvious, it's handwritten. So we had an instruction, it was about 1.75 million, and he told us the reason why he called us because it was a handwritten envelope. Whether that's true or not, but it added to
a
it.
proper stamp as well.
And a proper stamp.
You put your first
So
class
not
or second
frank,
class?
not black, and not a stickered address, not printed address.
What about are you putting actual stamps on?
Second class stamp.
Second class stamp.
We have trialled first and second, and it makes no difference to us.
I'm surprised. Genuinely, I'm surprised. I thought that might be a bit.
I think once, if it's a stamp, they're going to open it. That's the difference.
Yes.
So, what's your house name?
I just live in a suburban centre.
Grantham Manor. Let's call it Grantham Manor. Okay. So if you've got
the Watkin Manor.
The Watkin.
G-Town, Grantham and Obey.
If you get an envelope and it just says that on it, whether it's first or second class, you're still going to open it.
Yes, you are.
If there's a homeowner and a frank, you're not going to open it. So it's all margins, isn't it? How can we make sure that Chris opens his letter?
And how thick is the paper? Not decent.
120.
Yeah, 120.
So it's not silly. And what? Without giving too much away, what's in this letter?
So I'll start with what's happening right now. Which
in the market.
In the market, sorry, yeah. Which is difficult, not in my life, which is difficult sometimes because...
Evan Andrews comes on.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who that is.
No, that is baby, isn't it?
Who is
This
it?
is your life.
This is your life.
Evan
This is your life.
This is your life.
Okay, come on.
Move on.
Yeah, so there's an agenda to the letter. There has to be. Like, there's no point in me going, the market's terrible.
Your agenda, our agenda.
Our agenda. So I have to find an angle that suits us. So if the market is slow, how can I word that in a way that there's a potential opportunity around the corner?
And is it the same letter to people who are on the market versus off the market?
So everybody would get that, yes.
And it's kind of, so the first half is talking about the property market locally in the lakes?
So it goes, what's happening right now? What's happened in the last 3 months? What do I expect to happen next? A bit of content if we think it's relevant.
There's quite a bit of politics in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like the economy.
Donald Trump gives us some great content at the moment. What's going to happen if he does this? What's going to happen?
Do you remember the Will Smith
Interest
letter?
rates.
Didn't Will Smith like hit somebody?
Yeah.
And that got in the letter, didn't it?
Yeah. I try and keep it quite fun. I mean, my football team's got relegated, so I spoke about that a little bit.
There's always a picture of
that
you
wasn't
and
the fun
your
bit.
family.
Yeah.
And so basically, everyone thinks short content isn't where it is, but you've proved quite obviously that long content, 8 pages, that must be, what's that, 3,000 words long?
Something that, yeah.
About two, I think, because you've got lots of diagrams and graphs.
Oh, so you split it up. Yeah, it isn't.
We split it up. It's not heavy text.
It's formatted in a way that they consume it. But it depends who you're writing to. If I was writing to a 2-bed terrace, the likelihood is the person owning that house wouldn't want to consume an 8-page letter.
But yet you're only targeting the upper quartile, so therefore you're not going to be targeting 2-bedroom terraced houses. You're targeting people who would likely read the Times or the Telegraph.
Yes.
And therefore you've written it in the style of a Times or Telegraph.
Yeah.
Yes, and presuming that they likely have an entrepreneurial spirit, so they're used to reading that sort of language, and they hopefully have done something similar in their business.
So how many properties do you send out every quarter?
12.50 a month. So
That's-
yeah, 3,700.
That's 3,600. So
we send out 300 letters a week of various.
and so basically you're targeting 3,600 a quarter because they get one a quarter.
Yes.
Yes, and actually, if they're on the market and they're a band H, they get 16 letters a year. Yeah, sorry, 16. 4 are not on markets and 12 on the markets because we all send them monthly on the market.
It must be worth you spending that sort of money and time to do that.
Yeah, we worked it out, didn't we, recently? Was it something like £72 per letter?
66.
£66.
£66 direct return per letter. And they're just the directs. They're not the indirects. They're not we get that one, then we sell next door. They're not those. So they're just literally, it's like a money machine. You put £1 in, you get £66 out.
But it's important to point out that we've earned the right to that. So we put in, really hard yards of doing things that
You
people
might have to do it for 2 or 3 years.
like door knocking for 2-3 years to get to a position where people start to take you seriously and start to consume and start to get excited about the fact you're writing to them. It's then an ego boost. It wouldn't have worked just doing that from the start.
Maybe we could talk about in the next video, door knocking. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.